So, when I was coming upstairs earlier, after getting a double guacamole burger lettuce wrap from Carl's Jr., I was coming up the stairs, and my downstairs neighbor, a woman named Linda, was hanging out on the stairs, and she mentioned her son, and I asked how old her son was. She said 2, almost 3, and so I immediately thought, oh, I've got to have some books for a kid that age. And in fact, it's perfect because I had an extra book to add to the kids section from the chapter section, the picture book section. Secret picture book closet and utility closet. So here we have, I think there are about 80 picture books here. But I wanted to add that Richard Scarry book at the end there that came out of the chapter shelf when I went through those. And then I took out the remaining board books. I took out the 2 board books that were propping up this case. It doesn't seem to need them anymore. That's kind of weird. Must be leaning against the wall, weighted. There are still 2 books under there, but not board books. Anyway, sometimes when I give a bunch of books away, I like to look at them on a channel video, document them and their presence in the collection. And we fire a 21 gun salute, as is the tradition when saying goodbye to books. You have to do it no matter what time of day. If anyone asks, you tell them it's because you're giving away some picture books for very young readers. Books can surely only be read to children unless they're incredibly precocious. They can be looked at by them, I guess. But the books in the life of a family are important. And sure, these are being given away. But Prismo doesn't care. Prismo doesn't care about anything. She's got a terrible attitude. I was glancing at these and I was thinking, these are all kind of interesting. And they've all been kind of special in the life of me and my children at different times. This is such a cool idea. And as I always say, the best ideas could be genres. The paintings of an already famous, successful painter, Wayne Thiebaud, and then they just wrote a counting book around it. Brilliant. And kids love the beautiful, colorful pictures of tasty candies. My kids wanted to read this book all the time. They were addicted. I had to ban them from reading it. They were reading it too much. It was making them want candy all the time. JK, LOL. But I have a friend, well, he was my friend in the year 2000. I haven't seen this guy in a long time. But this painter I knew in Boston, Brendan Killian, I used to write him emails like, you got to do a book like this Counting with Wayne Thiebaud book with all your beautiful paintings. My kids will probably respond to this art their whole lives because of this book, which they enjoyed growing up. Here we have a Margaret Wise Brown classic, definitely one of her most famous ones, and it's very good. She has this thing where she alternates black and white with color drawings, big color drawings. Probably an expense thing, really, but her paintings are fantastic, and her characters are fun, and she's a real poetic and, in some books, surrealistic sensibility. But her best books are awesome. They're like, yeah, they're for younger readers, but they have poetic sensibility, they have charm, whimsy, imagination, poignant, existentialist, sighing. This is probably one of her most famous ones, often paired with Goodnight Moon in the board book world. I mean, board books make so much sense. The kids are putting the books in their mouths. They're throwing things. They're out of control, frankly. Something's got to be done about these kids. But Margaret Wise Brown is great, and Clement Hurd did the pictures in both these, I guess. But my favorite Margaret Wise Brown book is Little Fur Family, which has pictures by Garth Williams. I also love Color Kittens and The Little Island, which is about Vinyl Haven, Maine, where I visited her house. She died doing a can-can in an ambulance, showing the ambulance worker that she was perfectly fine and dislodged a blood clot. Horrifying story. But Little Fur Family is amazing, and she just has a really poetic sensibility. I mean, here's her all-time stone cold classic, probably one of the best-selling books of all time, if it's anything like A Little Caterpillar. It really is it's a poem. great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon and a picture of a cow jumping over the moon. There were 3 little bears sitting on chairs, and 2 little kittens and a pair of mittens, a little toy house and Unibus. But then, look at this, vandalism. That's the problem with younger generations, no respect. Quiet old lady whispering hush. There's actually some really like kind of cool details. And then it ends with this beautiful goodnight room, goodnight moon. And you can kind of, it's almost like a lullaby reading this to your kids. What great illustrations. Excellent. You know, to each age according, to what's right for it, Books like this are awesome. Good. Oh yeah, Goodnight Stars, Goodnight Air, Goodnight Noises Everywhere. I mean, whoa. Like that's basically Bohemian Rhapsody for 2-year-olds right there. I don't need to keep these things in my collection. I'm not ever going to be like, you know what I want to read? Actually, Goodnight Moon, I can see like quoting that or something. And yeah, I mean, I've kept these around for a while. They survived the purge. Strawberries Red, this guy, Peter Horachek, he's got a racket, huh? No, his stuff's imaginative. And it, look at this. So it all adds up. You get all the grapes are purple, whatever. And then this cutout one shows those colors as part of a fruit salad. Look at all the colors of my fruit salad. My kids really like this. So, kids are stupid and they don't know anything when they're little. And so they're amused by just anything. But JK, no, they're new to the world. Everything is new. And this was quite thrilling to my children when they were very, very young. I think it's going to be a real hit with Linda's kid. Maybe this one even more so. I always like this one. It's black and white. Yeah, Peter Horachek, he's got like an artful hook going on here where it's kind of like putting a twist in a children's book, honestly. But I always thought, that is just too anatomically correct. We don't need that. Come on. The milk is white. Crow is black. Goose is white. And then zebra. All right. Goodbye, board books. These are the kind of books that should be in a home with young kids being read. And the shelf just looks so good now. It's all cleaned up. Dig it. I'm kind of excited to look at these, but I think we're going to look at the New Mexico books first. We just looked at all those chapter books for younger readers. It's kind of exhausting. JK, it was fine. So, if you have people in your life who are very small because they haven't been alive for very long, watch out for Prisma. Try to keep them safe from her. She once tasted human flesh. It's never let up. Why don't let her go outside? So panther kills. That's it. All right. So, it would be funny if you were an adult and you were reading one of these books in like a public place. Interesting. Huh. Be like, how is your book, sir? Oh, it's most interesting. As the book progresses, the number of items on the page increases. Each amount represented by a great work from a master painter. And this, why it's poetry. Here we have a touching account of the bond between mothers and children. No, it's all basically the stuff I already said. Yeah, but that guy has an accent. I know. Yeah, 2, almost 3. I think this is the perfect stuff for that age. Well, what do you think? Now, the description on this YouTube channel says it's a look at the world of books through one person's collection. And books has all kinds of stuff, Books for kids, whatever. Books for very young children. And there can be quality at every level, One thing I really do like about Roger Ebert's criticism is his idea that you judge something for where it's at. But if you watch every episode of Siskel and Ebert like I have on YouTube, you'll see that he never heeds that. Board books, Prisma, board books. Books for infant readers. I'm trying to think if I remember any books like this as a kid. Do I remember Very Hungry Caterpillar? I remember that book, Pet the Bunny, is that what it was called? Pat the Bunny. But I have memories of reading all these to my kids. I mean, the memories have kind of blurred into one, just kind of general notion that I read them. Memory's kind of a rip-off overall. I have an essay about that. And I also recommend Wisława Szymborska's poem, Travel Elegy. She's like describing literally her vacation. And it's just all that she can remember. A bridge and a half in Bridgie, Leningrad. But reading to your kids is a real great part of parenting and raising your kids, and there's a million benefits from it. It can be such a nice coda at the end of the day, you know, like if you've had bad feelings stirred up at all ever. You're just like, let's read. Everyone gets in the story or the rhythm of the prose or whatever, the pictures. It becomes part of your shared milieu of references. And it's cool to watch a child's imagination get incited by something, or just see them happy to hear a story that they like, or asking questions about it. Draw some scribble. This is the bunny from Runaway Bunny. Wow, great. It looks just like it. I will save it until I clean out and realize I have too many of these things from you. I can't tell what they are anymore. You've grown up and gotten 50 tattoos. Right. Well, say goodbye to these books, viewers. You're never going to see them again. Unless you rewatch this video. These books spoke out against me, and so now they're going away. The books are not in charge here. I am. They need to know this.